time to have a serious discussion. It's time to have the courage to have a serious discussion. We see what's going on in the state of California. California, a few decades back, was known by all of us, even those of us who didn't live in California, as the greatest of the states. Opportunity, vibrancy, massive economy, solid government, well run, beautiful state, every kind of geography imaginable. It's become a third world hellhole in less than a quarter of a century. A one-party run third world hellhole. Rampant crime, rampant illegal immigration, borders wide open, brownouts, blackouts, electricity unreliable, water shortages, gas prices through the roof, highest in the country, minimum wage, highest in the country, destroying jobs and destroying businesses. You see, ladies and gentlemen, California, like many of our states, and like our country under Biden and his ilk, are run by incompetent, unserious ideologues who believe they're smarter than all of us, who believe they can conquer Mother Nature, who believe that they are wiser than all of us, and they are creating these disasters, whether on the border, whether in our cities, our forests. They're destroying the country. See, these people believe that they can remake society because they're smarter than the rest of us. They got the great ideas, smarter than the people. They believe that they can remake mankind, human nature. And they believe that they can remake the earth. Climate change, global warming, global cooling, call it whatever you want. That they have the power to do all these things, and yet they don't have the power to do a damn thing. And they're destroying the country. And they've destroyed the state of California. And the people in California are paying the price for it now, even though they vote for it. Now, there's a reason why this is the worst fire they believe right now in the history of California, why there's brownouts and blackouts, why there's a lack of water, why gas prices are through the roof. The people who run California pretend, they claim that they care about the environment. And yet look what they've done to the environment. Look what they've done. This is the truth. Mother Nature is a mother, all right, but not about nature. There's no such thing as Mother Nature. It is a pejorative. It is a term that's been given to nature to try and seem, well, it's so sweet. Nature's brutal. Ask the people the last few days have had to dig out from these snowstorms. Ask people who have to deal with earthquakes and hurricanes, tidal waves. And I can go on and on. Nature has slaughtered, killed more people than we can count. More people than we can count. Most of us live in secure homes, we have air conditioning, we have heat, we have the necessities to survive, and more than survive, thrive. And we're led to believe that we somehow are abusing nature. No, nature abuses us. And it always will, whether we like it or not. And so, what you do in the face of such power is you try and manage your communities. You try and manage your surroundings in such a way as when Mother Nature decides to unleash an assault on mankind, you're in a better position to deal with it. Can't change it, can't stop it, but deal with it. So in California, they don't manage their forests properly. The lumber companies are the enemy. Georgia Pacific is the enemy. They're destroying the environment, when in fact, of course, they're not. They're cleaning out the dead wood, the brush. They remove trees, and then they plant new trees. But we're supposed to hate them. Progress is to be hated. Capitalism is to be hated. It's almost a religion on the left. It's okay if there's fires. It's okay if lightning causes forest fires. This is nature. It's natural. As if they're mooing at the moon. Now, we're not allowed to talk about these things. You see, when there's mass murder, right out of their mouths, gun control, gun control, gun control, even though gun control has almost nothing to do with it. Gun control by the people who don't believe in throwing criminals, and I mean recidivists, back into prison, where their president just gave commuted sentences, I should say, to murderers. Went out of his way. Our cities are in decline. The country's in decline. California is in a hell of a mess. And people need to be held account for this. They need to be held to account. Now, that's not to say there wouldn't be fires, but it is to say there wouldn't be fires like this. The fire hydrants don't have any water. Why? Because it's some damnable little fish that nobody's ever heard of before and doesn't even matter. That's the excuse anyway. Climate change. Just blithely throw around these terms as if they matter to the people now who are suffering horribly in California, losing everything. They won't learn their lesson, the Democrats in California. They won't learn their lesson in Washington, D.C. What the hell? People lose their homes. Some have lost their life. As Marx put it, a little bit of despotism. That's the way it goes when you're trying to change society for the better. For the people, of course. For the people, of course. Now's not the time to mention this. Of course, it is the time to mention this. Because when this is over, nobody will give a damn anymore. And so now we have the EPA giving waivers because of Biden, type of vehicles people can drive, the kind of trucks that can be driven in California. It is a state destroying itself. And it's trying to drag the rest of the nation with it. Used to be, as California goes, so goes the nation. Let's pray that's not true. By God, let's hope not. But we don't have to look overseas anymore. We don't have to look in the third world anymore. Just look at California. Look at New York. Look at Illinois. But especially tonight, look at California. This is what's in store for the whole country. A state with the highest taxes in the country, whether it's income taxes, property taxes, sales taxes, highest prices on energy in the country, if you can get it, still brownouts and blackouts, horrendous services for the public, teachers' unions and other public sector unions control the state, one-party rule, supermajorities in the legislature, massive crime waves, businesses shuttering, businesses leaving as fast as they can, illegal aliens pouring into the state by the hundreds of thousands, complete mismanagement of the state's resources because of some religious type ideology. California's showing us what's going to happen to the rest of the country. What's going to happen to the rest of the country? Look at New York. A congestion tax, $27. I've been in that New York congestion, and there's nothing like it. It is hell, hell, hell. And what is it? It's people trying to get to work. It's buses trying to transport people. It's trucks trying to bring produce and supplies and other products into a city that used to be vibrant, that used to be bustling. It's enormously stressful driving in that city, getting into that city and getting out of that city, more than any other city. L.A. is a disaster, too, but don't get me wrong. Nothing's like New York. New York has 4 to 5 times as many people in the metropolitan area as L.A. does. Not even a close call. And so what do? They tax the people. Excuse me? That's right. We're going to tax you even more. You're stressed out to begin with. It's incredibly expensive to live in and around the city. It's dangerous as hell. Illegal aliens are being handed out goodies, credit cards, hotel rooms, you name it. Crime is through the roof. The place is filthy. They're trying to put Rudy Giuliani in federal prison, who cleaned up the damn place, America's mayor. And what do? They have a solution? $27. That's the solution. That's the solution. Because these people are incompetent, they're unserious, and they're ideologues. That's the solution. Government didn't build New York. The private economy built New York. Entrepreneurs built New York. Men and women who wanted to succeed because they couldn't succeed anywhere else. They came to New York. California. Government didn't build California. Settlers and beyond saw an opportunity. In the 50s and 60s and 70s, even the 80s, people saw an opportunity. California was the land of opportunity. Low taxes, magnificent environment and climate, livable state. Now look at it. Didn't take long, 25 years. Didn't take long at all. And now California's burning. Yes, it's nature. Or maybe it's an arsonist. 100-mile-an-hour winds. But the steps that should have been taken, rational, known steps that should have been taken, were not taken. The opposite was done. In the name of the environment tonight, the environment's being destroyed in California. In the name of the people are running for their lives. Chad Bergman of Fox noted that the new Republican Senator Montana, Senator Tim Sheehy, has a wildlife fighting company on California wildfires. He said, those of us in the wildfire community have been shouting from the rooftops for years that this was going to happen. We were going to have the big one in a wildland-urban interface environment, which is what this is. And it was going to be catastrophic. This is the big one. And a federal apparatus. We are not prepared to fight fire year-around. It's January. Most of the air tankers, helicopters, and firefighters are off contract. They're not prepared to launch out. And now we're putting a lot of brave first responders not in an extremely dangerous scenario because we have failed them in an extremely dangerous scenario, is what I meant to say. That's a bureaucracy to make sure that they're paid sufficiently.